Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, the Tamarack need a little trim. So a little earlier this spring, I got a shipment of Tamarack, 100 to be exact. There were 2 extra ones, if you remember. The episode was called 102 Tamaracks. Go check that one out on the playlist for under Tamaracks. We put a whole bunch of these that were bare rooted and sent to me in this box. And they all looked dead, as larch often do in the spring. They looked super gone, like, oh my gosh, are these going to survive? But then as you scratch off a little bit of the bark on any of the trees and see that cambium layer, you're good to go. You know the tree is going to be in good shape. So we got them all planted. We've had probably about 2 or 3 trees die in all. So I'm still around that 98, 99 mark. And we put them all into some, there's a couple that have just 1 in, there's some that have 3 in, and there's some that have 5 in. So here are all the larches. And we're at the end of July, so this is going to be the final prune for these guys. Actually, the only prune. We let them untouched all spring and early summer. And we're going to get these a little bit shorter so they'll set some new buds and growth for next spring. So they'll have the rest of July, or the rest of August rather, and September and October to do their thing, get ready for winter, and then we'll revisit it again next year, where I hope to have some larch forest plantings, perhaps even some forest plantings on a slab. Seeing if a bunch of people will get together with me and work on some forest with larch. So let's get right to the trees. I'll zoom up for you and we'll see what we got. So what we have here are just a lot of trees. And I did snip a couple of them walking through the garden just the other day. So I do have some that might not need any pruning. But again, this isn't to try to get anywhere close to a shape to these trees for the future. This is just to cut them down in size a little bit so we can set up some downward branches, put all the auxin that's up top, the hormone auxin that makes these trees want to be big, right? We push it down to get some growth down below and get some development to these trees, because they were literally sticks when we planted them this early spring. Again, check out that video. The link will be in the description, and see how much they've grown over the course of this summer. So what I'll do is I'll move a couple to the side so you can focus on a few trees with me at a time instead of the forest. Sometimes it's hard to see the tree through the forest. So here we go. We're going to start with that clump right there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then this one I think is either attached to that one or it was just a separate one. We put it in there as a possible 5th or 6th tree in this clump. This tree is obviously small. This one is super small, but look, it's doubled in size since we got it. We're not going to touch those trees right there. Here we have a tree that we can go ahead and just snip off that right there. I'm just going to cut off some of these top ones like that, and we're good to go. Up here, see this big growth up here? We're also going to cut that off, and we're going to cut these down to size so there's a little resemblance of a conical shape. And that's it. Tree number 1. Oh, smell that. Super young, new growth. And there is forest number 1. Just randomly planted this spring. Hopefully someone will be able to have a good time putting this into their own individual forest style come down the road next spring. So let's pull one of these other ones over here. We did lose a couple of trees. This is a 3 planting, so I think we're good here, 3 for 3. And you notice this one was broken off or cut here at some point, and here's some new growth right there. So that'll become the new leader of this tree right there. So that's kind of all we're doing now here too, is we're just getting rid of some of the height. And then hopefully some of these will start to do some growing. This one also has a tip right here. I'm actually going to cut this one off there because we have a tip growing right there. New leader right there growing straight up, right? So after it grows up, you'll never know it was there. Let's take another peek here. This is a forest of 3. Nice leaning tree over here. It's got some nice movement down here. It comes up over here, and it's going to lean up this way. Might put it straight when we have a forest. We have a couple of low branches on here. We could be cleaning out some of these, but I'm going to leave that decision for the people who come to this tree next year. So we have a big old thick top right there. And now we've just cut it back so it's more a little slightly more conical. And there we go. We have a forest of 3. We'll put that up top. Let's grab another one out. Oh, this is a super thick one. This must be a 5er. 1, 2, little one back here, 3. Yep, that's a little one. 3, 4, and 5. Now, see, that little one is going to be shaded out. We don't spin this around the bench sometimes and get that one to have some sunlight. This one's leaning really far that way, so that's taken hold pretty well. It's got some nice little thicker Navarre down here. A little girth to the bottom of this branch compared to that skinny tall one. So this one does have this kind of new leader here. This must have been a chop at some point right here. We're going to go ahead and go down one shorter on this guy. I could also pinch these off because they're so soft, so if you just take your fingers and you go ahead and pinch those off, you can do that as well. This one, we do want to cut one more though as well. And there we go. The 5 is done. Another one there. There's 5. There's another leaner back there. Must have had a taller taproot. This one back here is kind of leaning for the light as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's a 5er. Again. Cut some of the girth off of some of this forest. This one already has a new leader growing right there. So we got a couple of different sizes there. Let's go down even further with this one right there. And then we've got some different sizes for the forest when someone decides to plant that one. So there you have it. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 to go. So let's do some trimming. And to my friend Jay, an ode to the carnage cam. That's a lot of carnage, Jay. What do you think? We are now surrounded with some potential larch forests for the coming 2023 spring repotting season. Hopefully some people will have some fun with me and do a fun little larch workshop. Hopefully we'll get some on slabs, some flat tray type style pots, and we're setting up to have some fun with some larch in the near future. Hey, I've got an update for the show. Let's check in on the vol cam. So here's the update. Less than 24 hours later, I checked the 2 vol traps, and one of them's got a little buddy in there. This is a dark gray canister. You can kind of see him moving around once in a while. If I look down, there he is. There he is, upper left-hand corner. Little tiny one. There's many more to be had. We'll go jump in the car, bring him about 3 miles away, come back and catch his brothers and sisters. Okay, we drove a few miles from the house, and we're going to go ahead and open this up for the guy. And there he wants to come. And there he's gone. We'll have to show that in slow motion. Took less than 24 hours to get that first vole, but I know there's more than that because that was a small one. And we have a much bigger one, which might be the mama or daddy, I'm not sure. Gotta try to get that one so we don't make more babies. One down by the cabin frame for sure, cabin cold frame. We gotta catch one down there. That one's been empty so far, but it was humane. We released it, everything should be good. Hopefully that vole will not find its way back to this part of the universe. A short but sweet check at the Larches, an update with the vole. More to come on the trip out to Canada and New York and back. A lot of fun stuff on the horizon. But until then, hey, let's keep it short and sweet for this one. Take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you very, very soon.